afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I'm Jim Rosser, President of California State University, Los Angeles. I want to commend the Associated Students Incorporated of Cal State LA and the California State Student Association for organizing this event, and in so doing, supporting the defining rights of a democracy, the right to public discourse and the right to vote. Well done, ASI and CSSA. This is going to be an important election for education in California. As many of you know, I've spent the last 33 years as president on this campus making the case for access and success, affordability, diversity, and quality in public higher ed. And earlier this year, I announced my intention to retire at the conclusion of this academic year. What may be less well known is that Governor Jerry Brown will be both the first and the last governor of California I will have served under during my 34 years. In this instance, it's not at all a case of history repeating. California's population and economy has grown and changed, and Governor Brown is asking Californians to consider taking important steps to recognize these changes and to support measures that will help the state continue to meet its commitments to the education of all Californians in every community. I would be remiss if I did not mention also that an important aspect of the Brown family's enduring legacy in California is housed here at Cal State Los Angeles, namely the Edmund G. Pat Brown Institute for Public Affairs. So on behalf of the California State Los Angeles community, I would like to welcome Governor Brown, senators of the California State Senate, including the President Pro Tem, Assemblymember Gil Cedillo, Senator De Leon, and other distinguished members of the California legislature and guests who are here. I would now like to introduce our own president of the Associated Students Incorporated, Hector Escobar.
Welcome to the Cal State University of Los Angeles, home of the Golden Eagles. We welcome you to this historical event hosted by Associated Students Incorporated of Cal State LA and the California State Student Association. And I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making this happen here at Cal State LA. Today, we're here to advocate for the prevention of higher fees and cut for education, Medicaid and Medicare, and public safety. In the past 5 years, the CSU system has been cut $750 million, but there's a solution to prevent further cuts, further budget cuts and increase fees for students and protect our public services. Thanks to CSSA and ASI and other campus organizations, we have been able to register 32,000 students to register to vote this November 6th. Today, we emphasize to the Los Angeles community and students from all levels of universities to fight for Proposition 30, to be in favor of Proposition 30. Proposition 30 will prevent the budget cut of $200 million for the CSU systems and prevent a cut of $500 million for the community colleges. This would also prevent prevention of cut jobs for teachers, especially teachers in California. Proposition 30 will protect the master plan for California that was inspired by Jerry Brown's father. Which refers to accessibility, affordability, and quality of education. Proposition 30 is a step in the right direction for California to be competitive again. And as a voter and a student body president for Cal State LA, I'll be voting yes for Proposition 30 because Proposition 30 is a step in the right direction for higher education and keeping our public services and public safety and public education affordable. Vote yes in Proposition 30. And further ado, I would like to introduce you a sociology professor here at Cal State LA, Gabriela Fred. And thank you so much. And get out there and vote yes on Proposition
Gabriela Fried, and I'm going to talk as a faculty member here at Cal State LA. I'm honored to be in such illustrious company, and I'm here to support Governor Brown initiative and as the student body to support Proposition 30, to support public education in California. First thing, exercise your right to vote. Second, exercise your right to demand a quality education. As a faculty member here, I've seen class cuts, size class went, I've seen threats of program cuts, and of course I've seen student enrollment limited, and this is going to be a trend that will continue if all of California voters, especially students and faculty and staff, go and exercise their right to vote and their right to demand a budget that is dignified for public education. And I'm going to end up by quoting my 80-year-old daughter, Isabella, who's very stressed about the possibility of her father being laid off and her mother being extra stressed if Proposition 30 does not pass. She says, I hope you're aware that a lot of teachers will not be available to exercise their voices. Students also won't exercise their voices if they don't go vote. Proposition 30 will give more money to our schools, and we cannot go on like this. Please help us pass Proposition 30 and become more dignified in our budgets in the future for the CSU and for the entire California education. Thank you. I have the pleasure to welcome here Senator Kevin De Leon.
Thank you so much, Gabriela. Hector, wonderful speech as the president, student body president here at Cal State University of Los Angeles. Go Eagles! I know that each and every one of you are here today because you all believe, as we do, that education among each and every one of us is our state's #1 priority. Is that right? Yeah! And if you believe that, as we do, that educating our young people is critical, then we need 30. And if you believe that kids from every neighborhood, regardless of who they are, regardless of where they come from, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of the language their mother or father may speak, if you believe in that, then we all know that we need 30. And if you believe that your teachers, as well as faculty members, like Gabriela, should have all the tools necessary and the resources necessary to do their job and to teach each and every one of you, then you know we need 30. And if you believe in our state's commitment to higher education access, again, access to every single student, regardless of who you are and regardless of where you come from, then you know surely that we need 30. And if you believe that a few misguided billionaires who believe in protecting the private jets, their yachts, and their mansions, and yes, perhaps a few others on a dark list, they won't come out public, a few multi-billionaires from the state of Arizona who are trying to undermine Prop 30, folks who believe in protecting, again, their yachts, their private jets, as well as mansions, instead of educating California's future, California's kids, California's children, then you know, each and every one of us, we know that we need 30. Yes or no? Yeah! And finally, as we all believe, if we believe in California's future, then God knows, we got to tell our parents, we got to tell our neighbors, we got to tell our friends, we got to make sure every single person that we know, that we contact, that we touch, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's on the phone, word of mouth, we got to make sure that we cross the finish line. We got 8 days left on this campaign. We can do 30. We can do it today, and we'll have a better future tomorrow. Thank you very much. Now, I have the honor and the pleasure to introduce a man who needs no introduction for his commitment to young men and women up and down the state of California, in particular the Dreamers. He's an assembly member today, but he's been a former senator under the tutelage of the great Senate Pro Tem Darrell Steinberg. This is a senator here. Let's bring him up, Gil Cedillo.
Thank my brother for that. You ready to win? Yeah! You ready to organize? Yeah! Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here with all the Golden Eagles. It's an honor to be here with you, Governor, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here with working men and women and their children who have a date with destiny, who have a belief in the California dream, who believe that through hard work, through discipline, through your ingenuity, that you deserve a better future. That is what is at stake on Proposition 30. The California dream remains the battle that must be won. And so we are here today because your parents have invested in you. You embody their hopes and their aspirations. Many of you are the first to attend college. I know your story. Your families have come from different destinies, different locations, but share in one dream. Your families come from different communities, but each and every single one of them has one vision for you. And that's a better future and a better California. This institution set up to teach us science and technology, engineering, math, to help train teachers to send that information to young people to prepare them for a future of work. It is the only strategy that we know in California to sustain our economy. A quality education. That is what is at stake this Tuesday, November 6th. The senator was very clear. There are sinister forces beyond our boundaries, beyond our borders, who don't respect our democracy. And education in our democracy is the great equalizer. And so you have a challenge before you. You have a date with destiny. November 6th, Proposition 30 is what is your call, the clarion call for your future. Proposition 30, your parents sit home at work hoping that that day will be victory for us. But victory is in your hands. Victory is your choice. Victory is your destiny. Are you ready to win? Yeah! Are you ready to organize? Yeah! Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Yes, on 30. Thank you very much. And with a great privilege and honor to introduce someone who's joined us from Northern California, my boss in the Senate, my dear friend, my brother, a man I love very much, a great leader, an extremely thoughtful, sensitive, insightful leader, the President Pro Tem of the Senate, the Honorable Darrell Steinberg.
All right,
Thank you. Let's give it up for Gil Cedillo, huh? I want to thank a couple of my colleagues as well who came today. Senators Lou Correa, Ed Hernandez, Assemblymember Anthony Portantino. Thank you guys. We're all together on this. We're all together. You know, last month, Governor Brown signed a bill that requires that college textbooks for the most popular undergraduate courses be offered online for free or printable for no more than $20. It's a great law. Help you guys. But here's the thing. It only really matters if we can admit more students to the CSU, UC, and community college system. It only matters if students can get their classes. It only matters if we are able to prevent even higher fee increases that offset what we're trying to help you save by reducing the cost of textbooks. And that's why Prop 30 is so important. California, because of what happened on Wall Street and what's happened in the world, has been hit even harder than most by the Great Recession. And over the past 4 years, we have made cuts that, frankly, have been unimaginable. And they've affected everybody. They've affected people who are really having a hard time. The poor, the elderly, the disabled, but they've affected you and your families as much or more than anybody. For 4 years, my colleagues and I have witnessed student activism that has been inspiring. You come to the Capitol every year in the thousands and you say no more cuts and you say no more fee increases. And that's great and it's been impactful. But you know what? You have a chance to say that and more in a much different way next Tuesday in California.
Right, that's right.
The most powerful weapon you have is your vote. This is going to be a close election, there's no question about it. And the student voice is the voice that's going to carry the day. I agree with Senator De Leon. Get on Facebook. As I said yesterday at a rally, do the Twitter. Tell your friends, tell your family, talk to everybody about this election. Sometimes these things are decided by a couple thousand votes. Those are your votes here in California. This is a chance to end one chapter, difficult chapter of California's history and start a new one. And we could not be where we're at today without the leadership of a governor who is wise, who is unafraid, and who has the experience to know exactly what we need to do to start that new chapter again in California. He's seen it all. He knows that we have to live within our means, but at the same time, we can't starve public education. We can't afford fee increases and more cuts to higher education. He is a great leader and he's going to help California begin this new chapter. Give it up for Governor Jerry Brown.
Thank you, Darrell. I'm going to just put this in front here. Just somehow a picture is worth 1,000 words. What is it? 1,000 pages, whatever the hell it is. It's yes on 30. That's really important. It's much more important than my face, by the way. You don't need to see me. You just need to see Proposition 30. Anyway, look, the campaign now is coming down to the time when people start making those final decisions. I want to tell you just a few things. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of claims by the no folks. There's a lot of statements by the yes folks. Let me tell you what I understand. I've come back to be governor 27 years later. I was the governor when this young man was applying. In fact, I remember it. I was on the board of trustees. So that was a long time ago. And I came back, even though I should be retired. In fact, some people think I should have retired a long time ago, but I didn't listen to them. Because I wanted to fix our state. I knew we had some problems, and I felt that I had an insider's knowledge, but an outsider's mind. I have a sense of California. My great-grandfather came out here on a stagecoach back in 1852. Pioneers. It was tough then. No Medicare, no college, no tuition. You had to grow your own food. You had to defend yourself, no police. Those were pioneers. Well, now, fast forward, we've had incredible changes. The gold rush, the movies, the oil industry, aerospace, agriculture. It's an incredible state. And what do we depend on now? We started by people from all over the world extracting gold out of the ground, out of the rivers and the mountains. Now we have to extract ideas and technologies and science out of the human mind. The human mind that's represented all around here. It comes in different colors, different languages, different religions. Now, in order to do that, we do have to invest in our schools and our colleges. Just before I came here, I was at the museum, Science and Industry, where the space shuttle is. That space shuttle cost tens of billions of tax dollars. People are real proud that California and America could send that vehicle into space. A month ago, I was at Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. I saw the scientists there, the engineers, driving a 1-ton truck on Mars. What an incredible possibility, what an incredible reality, done by Californians for the most part. Californians of all colors, all languages. But it didn't come because they didn't have good schools. It came because they had great schools, elementary, high school, college, university. That's an investment that makes sense. So I know when I left the governorship, the next few governors built 23 prisons and one University of California and one Cal State. Well, we have to reverse that sense of priorities. And we reverse it by investing in our schools. Now, you'll see some propaganda. Just to understand, the no ads, for the most part, come, I don't know, is it 20 people, 25 guys that have a lot of money that are in the finance industry, and then 11 billion from a few bandits from Arizona. I don't know who they are. They may be good people, they may be bad, but whatever they are, they're ashamed of their identity. They don't want people to know who they are, but they're spending money in California telling people what is not true. What is not true is that this money will go anywhere else but to make our schools better, to make our colleges better, to keep tuition down. These are all true statements. So we have 20, 25 guys, a lot of money, who are going to have to pay this tax. And they're spending 30, 40 billion to stop it, 30, 40 million to stop us. On the other side is everybody here. The California Teachers Association, California Federation of Teachers, the Regents of California, Cal State trustees, the community colleges, everybody. So the real test here is can a few financiers who don't want to pay 1 or 2 or 3% more in their tax, can they stop all of us? No! That's the question. And I don't think they can. Because when you really look at it, it's pretty simple. It's invest in our schools. If you make $600,000, you'd pay 1% on the extra 100,000 over $500,000. 1%. That's 500. 1% of 100,000 be 1,000. You deduct it from your federal reform. It's about $700. That's all you pay, and you made 600,000. If I asked any of you, would you pay 3% more on your income tax if you could have a salary this year of $500,000? Yes. Why, who wouldn't? Okay, so follow the money. Follow the money. The money for Yes on 30, it's coming from school teachers, it's coming from janitors, it's coming from nurses, it's coming from the hospitals, it's coming from ordinary people. And by the way, it's coming from some billionaires. I'm very happy to report there are more billionaires supporting Proposition 30 than opposing it. So that's an interesting point. Some people know what's in their best interest. And what's in the best interest of California is to keep our great university system alive and well. That's what 30 is all about. So when you see that woman on television who says no on 30, she's in the kitchen. I don't believe she's a teacher. I don't know, but is she doing it for free? I wonder. On the other hand, all the people in our ads are real teachers because they know Proposition 30 is crucial to the kids, the students, the classes, the university, and the well-being of California. This is a pretty simple measure. A few people who don't want to pay 1 or 2% more versus all the rest of us. And remember, all the rest of us do have to pay 1 penny on a $4 sandwich, 1/4 of 1%. We can afford that. The top 1% can afford their contribution, and California cannot afford except to invest in our schools, our kids, and our future. Let's go for it. Yes on 30. Yes on 30. Thank you. That's it. I think we got it. Let's make sure. Twitter it out, Facebook it out, do whatever the hell you do, but get the message out.